The next word is hotel. All right, spell sigh. Can you spell brain? Your word is word. All right, spell robust. The next word is irony. Spell pear. The next word is quack. The next word is reply. Your word is random. Spell vain. All right, spell giant. All right, spell cliff. All right, spell gold. Spell prank. The next word is tank. Spell pray. All right, spell ink. The next word is update. Next up, town. Your word is walnut. Next up, subsidy. Subsidy. All right, spell secret. Spell queen. The next word is alphabet. Your word is syntax. Next up, immobilize. Spell integrity. Next up, semicircle. Spell congratulate. Spell hornswoggle. Your word is film. Your word is still. Your word is flower. Your word is exert. Can you spell pie? Next up, giant. Can you spell noob? The next word is absorb. All right, spell suck. All right, spell echo. All right, spell greedy. Can you spell pear? The next word is gold. Spell shake. The next word is mix. Spell pasta. Can you spell robust? Spell twist. Can you spell noble? Spell vain. Your word is scrutiny. Next up, gradual. The next word is lightning. Next up, betray. All right, spell agnostic. Can you spell vague? Next up, familiar. Can you spell cooking? The next word is normal. Can you spell window? Next up, opaque. Can you spell lactose? Can you spell alphabet? Next up, liable. Spell guideline. The next word is chronic. Next up, dilate. Spell diesel. All right, spell pigeon. Can you spell cooking? Next up, dolphin. Spell 20. Can you spell sniffle? Next up, absence. Can you spell transparency? Spell systematic. Next up, imminent. Your word is abhorrent. Next up, detrimental. Your word is
Ricochet.
Can you spell abscond? Can you spell residential? Spell commodity. Your word is notorious. Spell
Sagacious.
The next word is
Gallant.
all right, spell vague. Can you spell
Special.
spell
Gazebo.
the next word is
Quill.
can you spell
Normal.
all right, spell strategic. The next word is
Villain.
can you spell bizarre? All right, spell albeit. Your word is
Anatomical.
the next word is warrior. Warrior. Spell await. Can you spell curious? Can you spell
Center.
spell integrity? Your word is flavor. Your word is
Congratulate.
all right, spell
Syntax.
all right, spell
Tangerine.
can you spell
Photographer.
spell
Cognitive.
the next word is
Intermission.
can you spell
Pestilence.
your word is
Hourglass.
can you spell
Thesaurus.
can you spell
Palatine.
can you spell oblivious? All right, spell
Abdomen.
next up.
Ravenous.
Your word is simultaneous. All right, spell
Plenipotentiary.
all right, spell
Rambunctious.
your word is
Mellifluous. Mellifluous.
Your word is nauseous. The next word is
Facsimile.
your word is
Anaphylactic.
your word is
Municipal.
all right, spell.
Elysian.
The next word is accommodate. Can you spell?
Contradistinguish.
Next up, anachronistic. The next word is
Susurration.
spell.
Portmanteau.
Next up,
Prognostication.
your word is
Acromatophilia.
all right, spell languid. Next up,
Superferromagnetism.
spell.
Gubernatorial.
Next up,
Quasquicentennial.
spell.
Buckminster Fullerene.
The next word is
Dendrochronology.
the next word is
Neuropsychological.
can you spell?
Abakashi.
All right, spell fuchsia. Your word is
Utilitarianism.
all right, spell obfuscation. All right, spell.
Homeopathy.
Can you spell?
Martyrdom.
All right, spell pessimistic. Spell.
Menagerie.
Spell.
Bandeau.
The next word is
Fjord.
next up.
Brucellosis.
Can you spell?
Astigmatism.
Can you spell?
Glaucomatous.
Your word is
Bogolanfini.
spell.
Onomatopoeia.
Can you spell anachronistic? All right, spell
Fossiliferous.
The next word is
Jurisprudence.
the next word is
Acromatophilia.
the next word is languid. The next word is
Portmanteau.
can you spell
Absquatulate.
next up?
Labyrinthine.
Can you spell
Infinitesimal.
the next word is
Serendipity.
the next word is
Dichotomization.
can you spell
Pulchritudinous.
can you spell
Neuropsychological.
all right, spell
Contradistinguish.
all right, spell
Sequoia.
next up?
Gubernatorial.
All right, spell
Compartmentalization.
your word is
Quixotry.
next up?
Borborygmus.
The next word is
Abakashi.
next up?
Entrepreneur.
All right, spell
Isthmus.
the next word is
Supererogatory.
next up?
Paroxysm.
Next up?
Allotransplantation.
Spell
Apocryphal.
your word is
Inchoate.
next up? Bureaucracy. Your word is
Quasquicentennial.
can you spell
Diesel.
spell
Calumny.
spell
Center.
next up?
Chicken.
The next word is await. Can you spell surveillance? Next up?
Pneumatic.
Next up,
juxtaposition.
can you spell
Uncharacteristic.
spell
Quixotry.
spell technological? All right, spell
Dilate.
spell
Deleterious.
spell brusque. All right, spell
Circle.
can you spell
Walnut.
spell
Shake.
all right, spell burial. Can you spell defy? All right, spell
Cliff.
your word is sigh. Next up,
Length.
next up,
State.
the next word is
Prey.
can you spell
Hungry.
spell
Noble.
spell noob. The next word is erupt. Spell suck. The next word is
Brain.
can you spell
Twist.
can you spell
House.
can you spell
Mix.
all right, spell
Cool.
your word is
Power.
all right, spell pursuit. Spell
Liable.
spell
Strategic.
next up, abolish. The next word is
Powder.
the next word is
Overdue.
your word is offender. Next up,
Familiar.
the next word is furious. Next up, warrior. Next up, defy. All right, spell comply. The next word is
Water.
spell
Gold.
Can you spell?
Pray.
All right, spell.
Emoji.
Next up,
Hotel.
can you spell?
Kiss.
Can you spell?
Ash.
Next up,
Quack.
the next word is
Giant.
next up.
Cool.
The next word is
Bingo.
next up.
Update.
The next word is rally. Spell enact. The next word is
Proof.
can you spell convey? All right, spell sigh. The next word is
Greedy.
all right, spell appetite. Spell embassy. All right, spell
Telepathy.
can you spell?
Akin.
All right, spell breakthrough. Next up,
Queen.
next up,
Guideline.
the next word is gender. All right, spell.
Reply.
The next word is wrist. All right, spell margin. Spell exile. Your word is
Power.
your word is
Filter.
spell burial. Your word is
Cliff.
can you spell workout? Can you spell?
Iron.
The next word is
Twist.
next up,
Brain.
your word is monk. All right, spell
Prank.
your word is suck. Spell
Ink.
Your word is exert. Spell
Clever.
The next word is
Pair.
Can you spell magnificent? All right, spell
Semicircle.
your word is
Chicken.
all right, spell dilate. The next word is frolic. Your word is
Probably.
all right, spell await. Your word is
Armor.
the next word is betray. Next up,
Immobilize.
all right, spell
Rhythm.
can you spell deployment? Can you spell
Abdomen.
can you spell
Ricochet.
your word is
Misconception.
next up, intermediate.
Bronchitis.
Can you spell predominantly? All right, spell assumption. The next word is problematic. Your word is
Photographer.
can you spell
Obituary.
all right, spell
Epiphany.
spell scholarship. Can you spell
Surrogate.
the next word is inhabitant. All right, spell
Calamitous.
your word is appetite. All right, spell seldom. All right, spell
Special.
your word is guideline. Next up, congratulate. Can you spell automatic? Next up, offender. All right, spell debris. Your word is absence. All right, spell betray. Your word is
agnostic,
Can you spell
immobilize,
all right, spell
lightning,
your word is
crowd,
spell remarkable. Next up, refugee. Next up,
chicken,
spell
familiar,
the next word is abstract. Spell
rye,
Can you spell humanitarian? Next up, practitioner. Your word is unprecedented. The next word is articulate. Your word is
peppermint,
all right, spell
rhythm,
your word is significance. Next up,
necromancer,
spell
misconception,
spell
mathematician,
the next word is
sarcophagus,
all right, spell
consanguine,
spell
glaucomatous,
the next word is
polydactyly,
can you spell vulnerability? Your word is
bayonet,
can you spell
furious,
spell
excellent,
all right, spell
verbatim,
all right, spell
facsimile,
next up,
reminiscence, reminiscence,
all right, spell
ambidextrous,
can you spell
glockenspiel,
your word is
polemic,
spell
bucolic, bucolic,
next up,
bandeau,
all right, spell
gobbledygook,
next up,
ubiquitous,
Next up,
Hypermetropia.
spell ingenious. Next up, handkerchief. Spell anemone. Your word is
Homogeneous.
The next word is fuchsia. Spell
Infinitesimal.
the next word is
Worcestershire.
the next word is paraphernalia. Your word is
Subcompartmentalization. Subcompartmentalization.
all right, spell
Perspicacious.
your word is
Batrachophobia.
your word is
Inchoate.
the next word is
Hieroglyphics.
next up bureaucracy. The next word is
Baccalaureate. Baccalaureate.
next up
Lepidopterology.
all right, spell
Achromatophil.
the next word is prestigious. Can you spell notorious? Your word is
Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly.
next up articulate. All right, spell
Pneumatic.
right, spell
echo,
spell
Periodically.
spell automatic. Spell
Soliloquy.
your word is convey. All right, spell
Gold. Gold.
next up,
Bingo.
spell random. The next word is exert. Spell
Cool.
can you spell suck? Next up,
Pie.
the next word is
Pear. Pear.
spell
Clever.
your word is
Twist.
next up,
Water.
next up,
Power.
your word is
Tank.
next up,
Town.
the next word is
Ionize.
all right, spell frolic. Next up, absence. Can you spell
Lightning.
next up,
Circle.
the next word is
meditate,
spell await. Can you spell refugee? Can you spell
Proof.
next up,
Mix.
your word is comply? Spell
Soda.
the next word is
Update.
next up,
Word.
all right, spell erupt. Next up,
ink,
your word is
Flower.
next up, monk. Can you spell
Pray.
the next word is
Still.
Spell sigh. All right, spell film. Your word is dairy. Spell robust. Your word is intent. The next word is convey. Your word is workout. The next word is cliff. Next up, voluntary. Next up,
Anatomical.
the next word is flavor. The next word is tremendous. Next up,
Akin.
the next word is abolish. Your word is
Bamboo.
can you spell obesity? Your word is
Queen.
the next word is
Center.
all right, spell biography. Can you spell optimism? Your word is pasta. Can you spell pigeon? Can you spell
Meditate.
all right, spell thesis. Spell voluntary. Can you spell subsidy? All right, spell strategic. All right, spell curious. Can you spell broccoli? The next word is albeit. Can you spell obesity? All right, spell
Betray.
next up, burger. Your word is firefighter. Spell await. Can you spell
Walnut.
Next up,
alliance,
the next word is
window,
spell.
normal,
Your word is
idiom,
all right, spell expenditure. Can you spell
translucent,
Can you spell caustic? The next word is exaggerate. Next up, neighboring. Next up, predominantly. Your word is surveillance. Can you spell practitioner? Your word is
understand,
Can you spell
ubiquitous,
spell?
calamitous,
Next up,
dodecahedron,
the next word is
uncharacteristic,
the next word is
martyrdom, martyrdom,
your word is
probably,
Can you spell bizarre? All right, spell
immobilize,
next up,
circle,
the next word is remarkable. Spell
concentration,
spell.
center,
Your word is abolish. All right, spell.
sniffle,
The next word is
mellifluous,
spell embassy. Your word is random. Spell.
shake,
Your word is
brain,
Your word is margin. Next up, defy. Can you spell
Bingo.
next up?
Dairy.
The next word is
Clever.
next up.
Cliff.
Spell
Power.
Can you spell erupt? All right, spell trauma. Spell
Giant.
the next word is
ink,
spell
Proof.
can you spell
Quack.
your word is robust. All right, spell irony. The next word is
Town.
spell
Cool.
next up, refrain. Can you spell
Overdue.
spell
Center.
spell
Burger.
all right, spell
Ionize.
next up, scrutiny. Your word is
Queen.
your word is
Rye.
the next word is transaction. Your word is warrior. Spell
Epiphany.
spell
Flower.
can you spell
Hotel.
your word is burial. Can you spell
Still.
your word is
Twist.
the next word is
Brain.
can you spell
Film.
the next word is sigh. All right, spell
Mix.
can you spell
Ash.
spell forbid. Next up, robust. All right, spell
Size.
Spell
Greedy.
Next up,
Twist.
spell
Iron.
The next word is random. Your word is
Pear.
next up, trauma. All right, spell exile. Your word is
Immobilize.
next up,
Familiar.
spell
Probably.
Can you spell
Powder.
your word is
Burger.
the next word is
guideline,
your word is
Gallant.
next up, absence. All right, spell integrity. Spell
Gazebo.
your word is
Photographer.
the next word is
solidarity,
all right, spell
Fictitious.
spell
Translucent.
Can you spell
Wind.
spell
Shake.
spell
Update.
all right, spell defy. Spell
echo,
next up, suck. The next word is erupt. All right, spell
House.
can you spell
Word.
your word is
Power.
spell
Pie.
can you spell
Pasta.
spell gender. Next up,
Quack.
can you spell burial? All right, spell
Human.
next up,
Pray.
spell
Ruby.
Your word is comply. Can you spell convey? Can you spell password? Your word is firefighter. The next word is
Walnut. Walnut.
the next word is
Still.
can you spell irony? Your word is
Gold.
all right, spell
Zoo.
all right, spell wrist. All right, spell
Hungry.
can you spell
Filter.
can you spell
Prank.
next up?
Clever.
Can you spell
Hotel.
next up?
State.
Spell duck. Next up?
Cool.
Your word is intent. All right, spell
Cliff.
next up?
Emoji.
Your word is
Town.
spell
Grub.
all right, spell
Dairy.
spell
Cabin.
can you spell
Center.
spell
Betray.
all right, spell
Crowd.
next up?
Gradual.
Spell
Sniffle.
your word is pigeon. Spell
Formidable.
spell
Dilate.
all right, spell
Meditate.
can you spell offender? Can you spell
Catalog.
your word is melancholy? The next word is noob. Can you spell noble? Next up,
Tank.
all right, spell stumble. All right, spell
Length.
all right, spell.
Giant.
The next word is
Flower.
can you spell
Kiss.
spell.
Soda.
Your word is enact. The next word is
Proof.
next up, workout. Next up, exert. Your word is ink. Can you spell rally? The next word is
Bingo.
your word is
Water.
the next word is margin. Can you spell absorb? The next word is monk. Spell
Ionize.
can you spell
Broccoli.
next up,
Queen.
the next word is abolish. Can you spell
Vein.
spell
Reply.
all right, spell robust. Next up,
Length.
next up,
Gold.
next up, irony. All right, spell
Update.
the next word is
Soda.
your word is exile. The next word is
Twist.
all right, spell
Word.
spell duck. Your word is
Grub.
Spell
Greedy.
all right, spell
Cool.
all right, spell
Cliff.
spell stumble. Your word is
Absorb.
the next word is
Water.
the next word is
Cabin.
the next word is
Town.
all right, spell
Hotel.
can you spell vein? The next word is
House.
can you spell
Filter.
next up?
Giant.
Can you spell
Flower.
next up? Sigh. Spell
Mix.
your word is dairy. The next word is enact. All right, spell gender. Spell comply. The next word is absence. Next up, obesity. The next word is erupt. Next up,
Brain.
the next word is
Clever.
can you spell trauma? Your word is wrist. Can you spell
Tank.
spell
Zoo.
the next word is monk. Can you spell
Pasta. Pasta.
your word is
Pie.
spell
Power.
your word is convey. Next up, exert. Your word is
Reply.
all right, spell
Quack.
can you spell
Kiss. Spell size.
All right, spell.
Ash.
All right, spell. Intent. All right, spell.
Ruby.
All right, spell.
Pear.
Can you spell?
Hungry.
Spell.
Proof.
Next up.
Shake.
The next word is
Film.
your word is
Ink.
all right, spell. Margin. Spell. Noble. Can you spell rally? The next word is strategic. The next word is
Bingo.
next up.
Wind.
Spell.
Echo.
Can you spell suck? The next word is forbid. Spell.
Human.
All right, spell defy. Next up, noob. The next word is workout. All right, spell.
Prank.
All right, spell burial. Next up,
State.
next up, random. The next word is
Pray.
spell.
Emoji.
All right, spell.
Iron.
Next up,
Still.
all right, spell.
Echo.
All right, spell.
Quack.
All right, spell.
Grub.
All right, spell. Refrain. Next up, appetite. All right, spell.
Bayonet.
The next word is refugee. The next word is
Familiar.
spell.
Burger.
Next up, password. The next word is
quill,
can you spell
probably,
your word is warrior. Next up, transportation. Spell
microorganism,
the next word is
kiss,
all right, spell
zoo,
your word is wrist. All right, spell
pear,
spell
clever,
all right, spell
hungry,
the next word is
ruby,
spell dairy. Your word is gender. The next word is
gold,
all right, spell
iron,
can you spell convey? Can you spell
power,
spell
shake,
next up, forbid. The next word is
flower,
the next word is irony. Spell
human,
next up,
proof,
next up, trauma. The next word is integrity. All right, spell alphabet. Spell
immobilize,
the next word is thesis. Can you spell tremendous? Can you spell await? Spell
sniffle,
all right, spell seldom. Next up, transaction. Next up,
diesel,
spell
syllable,
next up,
gibberish,
all right, spell
thesaurus,
can you spell systematic? Next up, reliability. All right, spell
pomegranate,
can you spell hypothesis? Next up, agriculture. The next word is opaque. Spell.
Cabin.
Spell.
Exile.